Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, Disney Star Wars is, well, dead, boys and girls, and it hasn't been going very well at all. And Disney Star Wars, the latest edition of that, none other than the Acolyte, is by all measurement an absolute disastrous dumpster fire of a failure. Whether or not you enjoyed the show is irrelevant to the numbers and the absolute facts. It is the lowest rated, lowest watched Disney Star Wars show that they've had. Yes, it's got lower numbers and fell off the Nielsen ratings faster than the Acolyte and Samba as well. We just found that out this weekend. It also has the lowest rating of any Star Wars property as far as an audience score on Rotten Tomatoes ever. Yes, it is rated lower than the holiday special. And boys and girls, it has gotten so bad that even the shills, even the ones that are absolute simps for the spirit of the age out there, boys and girls, people who all around absolutely admit to being access media and full-throated, love them gargling some Disney pixie dust. None other than allears.net has to admit the internet hates this new Disney Plus series. What Disney Plus series are they talking about, boys and girls? Well, I think the Star Wars picture kind of gives it away, but it would be none other than Disney Star Wars' The Acolyte. Yes, even the access media, the people whose sole living depends on sucking up to the Walt Disney Company, never saying a bad thing about them and making sure that all of their coverage is positive, cannot even ignore their own Facebook page, people that follow them and interact with them. Yes, all of the boomers out there on Facebook still. Those people absolutely lambasted them with a whole bunch of comments, and they are here to report on that. But as per is the requirements of their shill contract with Disney, the majority of the article is still made up of comments praising them, but they do have to admit that overall, the vast majority of the comments agreed with this one main comment, that the show was absolute trash, and it was like if ChatGPT wrote the show. Well, me personally, boys and girls, I'm going to get offended for ChatGPT, because I think ChatGPT would have done a much better job than Leslie Headland, Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, Bob Iger, and everyone else over there responsible for the absolute abomination that is Disney Star Wars. So we're going to check out this article from all places, allears.net, getting all of the juicy details, and lets you know what their followers, not That Park Place, not Bounding into Comics, not Cosmic Book News, no, allears.net's followers think about the Acolyte. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe and or follow if you have not already, because we are inching our way closer and closer to 900 on both Rumble and YouTube, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment down below. Let us know if you loved The Acolyte, if you're one of those people out there defending the show, and even though all of the numbers says it's a failure, or do you agree with the majority of allears.net's followers on Facebook that this show was a disastrous dumpster fire? So from allears.net, it's like if ChatGPT wrote the show. The internet hates this new Disney Plus series. Some Star Wars fans really hate the show. Well, how about the majority of them, based on it having the lowest ratings of any Disney Star Wars show ever, and also on it having the worst audience score of all time for Star Wars? I think it's a little bit more than some Star Wars fans. Anyone who has casually followed the online discourse about the Star Wars franchise over the last 25 years, and especially since Disney purchased Lucasfilm in 2012, yes, because at least then we could always fall back on the argument, well, at least it's George's. And I'm one of the ones that grew up during the prequel trilogy. I love those movies. Yeah, they got their issues, and I'm totally willing to criticize them. Honestly, yeah, they got their issues, but I still love them. likely knows that opinions are divided. Divided? Like I said, this is still a shill Access Media website article. So, of course, they're going to be as nice as they possibly can over the franchise's output. This has been especially stark when it comes to The Acolyte, the franchise's latest Disney Plus series. Earlier this month, Quincy published a piece on the show titled, "The Acolyte wasn't as bad as everyone said, and 229 other thoughts I had binging the season." Except if you did it earlier this month with a show that just ended, last week? You wouldn't have been able to do that over the entire show because they didn't give it to anybody in its entirety early, now did they? You just got the first 4 episodes, so your thoughts were only on the first 3 to 4 episodes, now weren't they? Now, of course, everybody else's comments, well, they've got actual context. As you can likely imagine, the piece incited a deluge of commentary on our Facebook page, with many of the comments skewing negative. Many? Many, huh? Just many? Perhaps the sentiment, then why would you say that the internet hates this show if it was just many of your comments? Perhaps these sentiments were best summed up by Reader Joe, who went into great detail. Now, before we get into Reader Joe's comment, mind you, let me remind you, this is from an allears.net Facebook follower. Someone who agrees with their stuff. How do I know they agree? Well, let's read the comment and find out. "I really wanted to like it, but it's horrible. I hate agreeing with the internet incels. But by God, it's so terrible." Oh, yes, the horror with having to agree with people you hate that have the same opinion on you as you. What a strange concept. It's almost like those are the kind of things that brought us together before they decided to divide our pop culture fan bases by politics. Oh, I wonder whose side did that. Oh, yeah, it's generally the one calling people incels. Perhaps these sentiments were best summed up by Reader Joe, who went into great detail. "I really wanted to like it, but it's horrible. I hate agreeing with the internet incels, but by God, it's so terrible. It's like if ChatGPT wrote the show." Once again, I think that's an insult to ChatGPT. "Leslie Headland should never go anywhere near another Star Wars show." I 100% completely agree with you. Look at this. Look at the bridges we're making. We're already coming together. I agree with you. I agree with you, Joe. I agree with you. Oh, and Kathleen Kennedy approved this garbage and should be replaced. You're preaching to the choir, Joe. The incels agree with you. You're preaching to the choir. By the way, this is an incel with 5 kids, mind you, as well. So just putting that out there. But trust me, this incel with 5 kids completely and totally agrees with you. The Disney Star Wars era has been mostly bad. I also agree. Bad Batch, Clone Wars, and Mando have been good. Didn't watch Bad Batch, but I was never a fan of Clone Wars. But I agree. Mando Season 1 and Season 2 were good. We're good. The sequel trilogy was bad. I agree with that. Book of Boba Fett was horrendous. I completely agree with you. The Acolyte is the worst of the bunch. Tell me more, Joe. Tell me more. Is it getting hot in here? Is it just me? Tell me more, Joe. Tell me more, all the dirty things I like to hear. Tell this incel what he likes to hear. Whew. Whew. Anybody else need a cigarette after that? Holy cow. I mean, seriously, you're literally agreeing with 99.9% of what the fellowship complains about these shows. Mando Season 1 brought me back in. Mando Season 1 convinced me to try to give Disney Star Wars another shot. And then, of course, like you said, Joe, They screwed the pooch with Book of Boba Fett, with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and now the Acolyte. Welcome to the Fellowship, Joe. You're just another racist, bigot, hater on all things Disney Star Wars. Would you like a chair? Martini? Cigar? We're always welcome. There's always another chair at the table, brother. Ahsoka and Obi-Wan Kenobi have been decent. My wife said Andor was very good, but clearly you did not watch it. The sequel trilogy was bad. Book of Boba Fett was horrendous. Yes. I get that they were wanting to expand past the Skywalker era, but The Acolyte is on par with the Christmas special. Actually, according to the audience score, it's worse than the Christmas special. The only bright spot on the show were the actors who played Quaimar and Sol. I also agree with you. Hell, I did videos over those people. Trader Joe, I think I deserve your... Joe, I think I deserve your subscription. Come on, come follow me. Come follow me over at the Common Nerds. All the other characters were unlikable, especially the main character and the characters. I love Star Wars, but I definitely won't be watching season 2. They really should make more Clone Wars content. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for expressing 99.9% of all of the exact same views held by the Fellowship. Thank you for becoming the latest racist, bigoted Star Wars fan out there. And of course, it goes on to keep going on, and they give a bunch of praising and all of this other kind of nonsense stuff. And they go back and push back against it, and they talk about somebody who is middling. But I think Joe's statement completely and totally sums up what at least, well, let's see. Last I checked, the audience score over on Rotten Tomatoes was a 14%. So I would say Joe's statement sums up what 86% of Disney's, not of Disney Star Wars, but 86% of what Star Wars fans actually think about the Acolyte. So welcome to the Fellowship, Joe, because you agree with the 84% of us out there that Disney, Leslie Headland, Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, and Bob Iger have all labeled a bunch of racist, sexist bigots because we don't like the hot garbage trash and the destruction of our beloved lore that they do with Star Wars in name only over there, over and over and over again. So, Joe, I hope someday you can see past your politics and unite with people like me and so many others out there in the Fellowship who completely and totally agree with you. Disney Star Wars is trash, and the Acolyte is just the latest proof that everything Disney touches turns to dust, and that billions of dollars have been set on fire and burned by destroying what was once one of the greatest and most successful and profitable franchises in history. Good job, Kathleen Kennedy. Good job, Dave Filoni. And most recently, good job, Leslie Headland. You've once again added one more nail into the coffin of what is now a dead franchise, Disney Star Wars.